Founded in 1934, the Academy of American Poets is one of the nation's leading literary organizations and the largest funder of poets. Its new leader wants to emphasize and expand the linguistic diversity of poetry and boost interest in poetry among average Americans. Jeffrey Brown reports for our Arts and Culture series, Canvas.
Ricardo Alberto Maldonado in English.
I find myself on my feet with 15 leaves. Everything carries its own light on the walls.
And in Spanish.
Me encuentro de pie con 15 hojas. Brilla todo en los muros.
The Puerto Rican-born and raised, New York-based poet embraces the bounty and diversity of languages in his own life and work. And now he has an opportunity to spread the word and words more widely as the new head of the Academy of American Poets.
I want to be intentional as an administrator who is also a poet, who understands what it means to write in more than one language. We're in a unique position to reflect the diversity of the poetry field and the readers of poetry across America and across the world.
At 42, Maldonado has known the thrill of seeing and hearing his work in exciting ways. Including set to music and performed at the opening of the new Geffen Hall at Lincoln Center in New York last year. He's had an influential poetry platform as head of the prestigious program at New York's 92nd Street Y, on one occasion breaking into song.
Oiga mi gente, lo más grande de este mundo.
But he first came to poetry as a teenager in Puerto Rico through mourning the loss of his father.
Poetry came to me when I needed it, and
Meaning what?
my father had died, and I felt very much alone, even though I was supported by my family, but I felt like there were things I did not understand. My teacher gave me To an Athlete Dying Young by A. Houseman.
Yeah, famous poem.
Very famous poem.
Yeah. It's also one of more than 2,500 poems that are part of the Academy's popular 10-year-old digital series, Poem a Day, which highlights new work by contemporary poets. It's received by more than 330,000 daily subscribers and read by tens of thousands more every year. The Academy also offers a K-12 education program, including the Teach This Poem series, the Poem in Your Pocket Day, when people of all ages read, share, post, create art using poetry. And it gives $1.3 million a year to poets through prizes and fellowships.
Gwendolyn Brooks, my favorite poet.
Maldonado has taught literature in high schools in both Puerto Rico and New York. He first wrote his own poetry in English. But watching from afar the devastation in his homeland by Hurricane Maria in 2017 changed his life.
I wanted to write poems that would make my world legible to my family in Puerto Rico. I felt like I had to speak to them, to say, if nothing, you are not alone, and I am living with you even from afar.
And that had to be in Spanish.
It felt like it had to be in Spanish, and since then I've realized that my poems in Spanish have a deeper sense of resonance that they would have ordinarily in English. They just strike something very important within me that I cannot define.
His bilingual book of poems is titled The Life Assignment. Many poems in English, others in Spanish, only some translated to both. One important audience, his young nephews in Puerto Rico, who were excited to read recently of his appointment to head the Academy. In his new position, he says, he wants to champion and celebrate the linguistic diversity of the country through translation, grants, and other programs. He himself is part of a group creating a bilingual archive of Puerto Rican poets and poetry. You are the first Latino to head this organization.
Exactly.
What's the significance for you?
When I was a kid, I never knew I would occupy a space like this. I knew that poetry meant something to me. What I'm hoping is 10 years from now, a young Puerto Rican poet on the island or somewhere else knows that this is a possibility, that living a life with and through poetry is an honorable way of engaging with the world.
That young person could come to poetry in new ways, as Maldonado himself has.
It is often that I go to Twitter to find a new poet or a new poem. Many of my friends find themselves sharing screenshots of the most recent poem they fell in love with. They embrace the limitations of a platform as a kind of invitation. A poem can exist within the limits of Twitter. A poem can exist within the visual limits of other platforms such as Instagram or TikTok.
So you're bullish on poetry.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I guess you have to be in your position.
Or as a human being, or as a former teacher, or as a poet myself, too.
All right. Ricardo Maldonado, congratulations on this and thank you very much.
Muchas gracias.